A badge of honor. Police officers and first responders wear badges to let their communities know they are here to protect and serve. But that's not how it feels today, and the stress of the job is taking its toll, taking lives through suicide and post-traumatic stress injury. A Badge of Honor podcast features the cast of the same name, Sam Horwitz and John Salerno. Sam, John, and the team offer the first responders workshops through their critical incident stress management teams and mental health liaisons to offer state-certified T-COLE credit programs that save lives. It's time to smash through the stigma. It's time to heal from your injury, and it's time to back our blue. Welcome to A Badge of Honor podcast. Here are your hosts, Sam Horwitz and John Salerno.
Hey, welcome to A Badge of Honor podcast with John and Sam, powered by the OBBM network. Man, we just coming off a great weekend. Sam, how you doing?
Hey, doing great, John. I want to thank all the prayer warriors that joined me last week to say prayers for your pup, Charlie. Understand he made at least he's in good recovery mode and completely stable, and fingers crossed that it keeps going that way, because they're our lovies, right? Our pets are our hearts, and it's important. So thank you, prayer warriors, and welcome back, John.
Thank you. And you know what's funny is even on our workshops and everything else, we always talk about there's always one more move, right? It's never checkmate. And me and Tigger were ready to do the humane thing because he was really in bad shape. We were ready to make that decision and have to maybe put him down. It was a hard decision. And then your prayers, everybody's prayers, and thank God for an amazing veterinarian. He made a 100% turnaround. So you're never out, man. You're never out. Even when you think that all hope is lost, man, 24 hours made a huge difference. So we got to learn something from dogs, even in our mental health, that we are never out. We can never tap the mat, man, because there's always one more move. If that doctor's not working, that therapist's not working, there's always somebody else that may provide the mental health that you need. And just like Charlie, my pup, man, it was just that one more move that kept him alive, and we're blessed.
Yeah, and also in our workshop, we had a great part where we covered partners and resources. So when John says, if that therapist isn't working, or whatever you're doing isn't working, think out of the box. Or if you're up to here and with thinking, because hey, we've all been there, right? Just visit our website and you can click on stuff about kayak fishing, or healing, a ranch where you can heal, just being outdoors, doing different things. We even have apps on there that are dedicated to bringing forward, whether it's businesses or highlighting different things going on with our first responders, with our veterans, with our active duty personnel. And that's what we're talking about today. An amazing app,
right on your phone,
web-based platform, because our guest is going to explain how it works both ways. That is dedicated, I'll say to us, to everybody that wears a uniform. So let's welcome Shaun, a Broeker, to A Badge of Honor podcast. Welcome, Shaun. Thanks for being with us tonight.
No, thank you for having me. Thank you.
Yeah, please tell everybody watching and listening about your background and how you got into helping to develop Defenders Gateway.
Yeah, of course. So I am an Army veteran myself. I enlisted my senior year in college.
Thank you.
Yep. Thank you, sir. I left for basic training just a few weeks after I graduated from WashU here in St. Louis. So it was quite the transition from the college life to basic training. And did one tour in Iraq back in 2009 into 2010. And then a couple months after I got home, I started law school. So it's a big transition to going into the military, then big transition coming out of the military as well. Wow. And right now I'm working with a app or a local startup here in St. Louis, a little tech company called Defenders Gateway. And what we're doing is a app built exclusively for veterans and first responders. And it's a geolocation based app. So when you open it up, and it's going to depend on which location you're in, it's going to, if you're in Austin, what you see is going to look different from St. Louis to Tampa to, California. You get different results. And what we're doing is really trying to connect veterans and first responders to the business community, the nonprofit community, and the governmental agencies that provide them the resources that they may need. So it's really
now let me ask you on top of that, did you also, and I thought I read on your website, it's not only for veterans and first responders, it's also for family members of veterans and first responders as well, right?
And active, right?
That's right. Absolutely. It's not really limited. We say veterans and first responders, it's usually, but family members, spouses, children can get access, and all our users are verified through our processes. And also is open to, Secret Service, Border Patrol. So sort of the defenders of this country is who it is made for.
Because when we give our workshops, we talk about family a lot. And I know even in my own personal journey, my wife will always turn around and say, "Hey, what's bothering you?" And sometimes, maybe I can't talk to her, she can't talk to me, right? But you know what? Maybe if she's got a connection on an app, she can go, "Hey, listen." And this way the family doesn't feel alone. So I like that aspect where you tie in everybody that's part of this, part of this community. I want to say the veteran and first responder community, and allow the family members to come in, because a lot of apps out there kind of just limit it to just those who serve. So you bring a different aspect to an app that can really save lives.
Yeah. No, I 100% agree. And a lot of times what you see, in the community is this, especially the spouses kind of get left behind, right? It's not in the children too, but the spouses are really holding down for it when the service member is gone. And, I serve on the board of directors of two organizations, one called Vet Jobs and the other one called Military Spouse Jobs. And we help transitioning service members and their spouses find employment. Two wonderful organizations that have been really successful over the years. And one of the things we always focus as a board members, let's not forget about the spouses, right? We want to get them employed to help benefit the family just as much as the veterans, because they're making just as many sacrifices.
Yeah, you mentioned exactly what I was going to ask about, how important it is that when an active duty service member is away and their spouse is at home, to have access to things that can assist them and help them navigate, maybe some tough decisions. Because it's not just like, hey, let me pick up the phone and call my spouse who's serving, because a lot of the time, you don't have access, number one, or they're on something that's secret. So it's like, hey, I'll be, out of communication for a bit.
Well,
but
it's really a team effort. I mean, just like when you're in the military, everything's very, very team oriented. That's just sort of the family circle too. And it's family dynamic that we're really trying to push here, sort of a team, a cohesive unit to bring together and support the whole, the family organization, if you will.
Now, what spurred the idea to come up with Defenders Gateway?
Yeah, so this was, I wish I could take credit for the idea myself, but I can't. The founder of this, her name is Carol Watanabe. She's a local St. Louis woman. She started a nonprofit, I want to say back in 2003, 2004, around 20 years ago, called Little Patriots Embrace. And it's just an organization that supports children of military service members. I know around Christmas time and different holidays and things like that, they put together gift baskets and take them out and give them out to the children. And at some point, she was just tired of trying to navigate all the resources that are available to veterans. She's not a veteran herself, but over that sort of 20 year experience that she had in that community, she's like, there's so many resources out there. We need to find a way to bring those all together and give them to the veteran in one place at the same time. And especially on the nonprofit side, you see a lot of great nonprofits start up for very good reasons, and then they sort of fall to the wayside after a time period, and then sort of become defunct. So it's really a way to get great nonprofits on there that are really doing good in the community.
Well, that's amazing that she had that foresight to
Okay.
be like, why do I keep, banging my head against the wall trying to organize? Because it's like organizing the same thing, but with more resources out there. And if you've never heard of them, somebody gets left behind. And then, yeah, that's amazing. Hey, if you're just joining us, we're talking with Shaun Broeker from Defenders Gateway. We got to take our first break. We will be right back. Stay tuned, everybody.
Move freely, America, without medical restrictions or penalty. Without medical freedom legislation in place, our rights and freedoms are one vote away from being dissolved. Move freely, America, with one voice, without fear of retribution, achieving a common goal, medical freedom. We the people make our voices heard by connecting with state legislators and engaging a constitutionally compliant medical Bill of Rights for all citizens. Individually, change is improbable, but as an aggregate, attainable. It's time to act with one voice. My voice.
And my voice.
And my voice.
And my voice.
To protect our freedom, creating one voice that cannot be ignored. This requires your voice, too. Move Freely America. Go to movefreelyamerica.org to find a chapter near you. Plug in, donate, and help our legislators defend our God-given rights under the Constitution. Move Freely America. My voice.
And my voice.
And together with your voice, we're one voice that cannot be ignored. Donate today. MoveFreelyAmerica.org.
Hey, welcome back to a Badge of Honor podcast with John and Sam and our guest, Shaun Broeker, right? Am I pronouncing it right?
Broeker. Yes, sir. It was Broeker till my grandpa changed it. I think it's my grandpa or my great-grandpa changed it to sound more American and less German.
Okay, so Shaun Broeker.
Yes, sir.
Broeker with Defenders Gateway. Man, the app that you guys developed that you're putting together is offering so many different resources for our heroes and our heroes' family. Before we left, we were discussing how you got to bring all these resources together because not every resource fits everybody. So you want to make sure you have something available, and you want to have a menu of options. And that's what a lot of our first responders and our veterans, they give up after the one or two. And you're providing them with a multitude of resources out there to help them either get through what they're stressing out, helping their family members. So God bless you and the board who have put this all together for our heroes. Thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you. One thing we try to focus on at Defenders Gateway is we're looking at jobs, we're looking at finances, and we're looking at mental health and well-being. And those are really our three main focuses. I mean, there's other stuff on the app too, don't get me wrong. But when you're looking at what a veteran or a first responder would necessarily mean, to us at least, jobs, finances, and mental health are the top of our list.
Yeah, knowing what John and I, John, hang on one second. Knowing what John and I do with our workshops and assisting in the mental health and wellness arena, I want to ask you, you served back in 2009. You were deployed back in 2009. And how, when you think back about smart technology, let's just say the 2009 capabilities were like they are today. How important would it have been for you and the men and women that you served with to have something like this at your fingertips?
No, 100%. It had been so important. I had a very bad experience after I got home. I was injured while I was in Iraq, and I went to the VA for help. And unfortunately, I had a very dim view of the VA for a long time after that experience, and I finally got it fixed, honestly, just a couple of years ago now at this point. So having other resources and having other options out there would have been a huge benefit and saved a lot of hassle for me on the front end. So, I mean, and that's really what we're trying to solve here. Sort of the gaps, the government can't do everything for everybody. They can't do a whole lot for some people, and,
and we shouldn't,
not to get too political.
Fairness, we shouldn't ask them to.
Right. 100%. It's really not on them. So you're trying to navigate all these nonprofits and these other, for-profit organizations. And we're trying to eliminate a lot of the hassle that comes with it, because especially if you're a service member or a first responder with PTSD or some mental health issue, and you're in sort of a sensitive time, right? Or you're having some episode, it might be hard to find the resources you need at that time, right? And one of the things I like about our app is under the health and wellness section. If you open up the app, we have a direct dial to a VA crisis, VA crisis hotline. So you don't got to Google somebody to call. You don't got to call 911. If you're a user on our app, you open it up, and the VA crisis hotline's right there, and you can call them up and get whatever help you need at that moment.
You said something about jobs, and I think jobs plays a lot with the mental health. If someone's got a purpose, their mental health seems to be more focused on their work. It gets them out of the house, and like we always say, it gets them off the couch watching Judge Judy eating bonbons, gets them out of their own mind, and gets them back to doing what they are meant to do. And a lot of veterans, and I'm not a veteran, but I got to ask you, because we hear this a lot from many of the younger veterans. The VA is not doing this. The VA is not doing that. The VA is not, or there's such inconsistencies through state to state, or even county to county on the VA care, that I'm not going to go to Dallas because Dallas stinks, and I'm going to go to Houston, and they got to travel. Do you find that the same thing? There's no consistency within the VA, and that maybe job outreach for our younger military officers coming off deployment or coming out of the service, is that stuff provided to our men and women, or no?
To a certain extent, there's transitioning programs that the military is offering, and my experience is a little different than everybody else's, because I knew when I was getting out of the service, I was already going to go to law school. So it's not like I had to have a job lined up, right? But I have come to realize through these two nonprofits that I'm part of, Vet Jobs and Military Spouse Jobs, that a lot of people, especially those younger service members, right? You get out of high school when you're 18 and you're done with your first contract by the time you're 23 or 24 years old. You've never experienced the real world, at least, or I'll say the civilian world at all. And they really don't start to think about their employment until they're already out, when you need to reach them 6 or 8 months before that to give them that training, the soft skill training, even some of the hard skill training for the civilian world. And it's not just employment, especially that I look at. It's meaningful employment. Where can I find something that'll give me a purpose, make me feel like I belong and I'm doing something?
Right.
And as far as saving lives, that's, to me, the jobs is it. And that's why my number one focus has always been on jobs, employment and personal growth in employment. It's just not getting a job. It's how can I advance in the job or the career I'm at.
Right. Because a lot of them, and I'm not putting down like the recruiters or anything, but they do lie to a lot of the recruits. Hey, we're going to put you in this field. You're going to be trained in this. And all of a sudden, before you know it, they're changing oils in Humvees. And then when they come out, their only skills is a mechanic. And they don't want to do that, So it starts in the very beginning. And that's why you have to educate our young veterans that before they do that, they have to make sure that, they have a plan. Just like our first responders, we tell them, time is going to come with retirement. So you have to have a plan after retirement. You just can't sit around. And our veterans have to do the same thing. They have to go in with a plan, develop that plan, work it, and then just like you did, advance it once you get out, and not blame everything on the government or the recruiters or the VA. You have to take some sort of responsibility for yourself as well.
Oh, 100%. I mean, personal accountability and responsibility is sort of number one, right? That's got to be a given. If we're not starting there, we're starting from two different starting points, in my opinion. But what's interesting, you just said, is like the mechanics, you get out and what do you do with that? And a lot of people get out of their MOS or get out of the military and want to do something different in their civilian lives. But a lot of times what happens is there'll be an organization they're trying to go to, and just because that organization will try to fit them doing the same thing as they did in the military, just on the civilian side, but they got out of the military because they didn't want to really do that anymore. Right. So it's not like a perfect match between my MOS and my job after the fact. A lot of people get out and want to do something a little different.
Yeah, and that's why on the app, if you go to it, and we'll talk about how to get the app, coaching and counseling is key, because you're learning about, well, first of all, what you did in the military, or even first responders that decide, after 10, 15 years, they're not going to do a career in that field. Is like, what do I have to offer other than the skills that I've been doing for X amount of years. And that can be a complete, I'll say, just mind screw for somebody, because it's like, I'm not good at anything else. I'm stuck.
Yeah.
Right.
See, but that's where they get lost. And that's where this app is good, because
exactly.
you do have the skills. You do have the skills. You just don't know how to tap into them.
Yeah.
Right. And that's why, like, I'm looking right now, the coaching and counseling section right now, that's one of the things that can help. Shaun, let's take a deep dive into the app after we come back from our next break. Folks, stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Interested in starting a podcast or TV show? Worried about what you'll say and how to keep it engaging? Think you'd like to be a guest on podcast, radio, or TV shows? Hi, I'm Susan Hamilton, owner and founder of OBBM Network, and I would like to invite you to an OBBM media training to get the tools you need for a relaxed and polished performance you'll be proud to share. Our specialized training techniques include role play, voice training, and everything you need to deliver a confident, clear, and engaging interaction. Go to offbeatbusiness.com. Go to the calendar and register for a training that's convenient for you. Dates available now, 214-714-0495.
Hey, welcome back to A Badge of Honor podcast with John and Sam and Steve Broeker with the Defenders Gateway. Shaun, what did I say?
Steve, first you're broken, or you're
my glasses. Oh man, I'm so sorry. Shaun Broeker, man, I'm so bad. My PTSD has screwed my memory. But with Defenders Gateway, see, I got that right. And before we left, we were talking about certain aspects that this app is going to provide for our heroes, our first responders, and our veterans. When we're talking about MOS in the service, you go in, you change an oil, but you're learning so much more that you may not even realize as a veteran. You're developing so many different skills that are coming in that you may not be processing right. And that's why this app, with your counseling and everything else, you can tap into these different skills that you may not even know you have.
Yeah, that's 100%. I mean, you don't know what you don't know, right? And that's where we're coming in and trying to say, hey, there's other opportunities out here that you need to look at, even if they're not on your radar right now. And one of the things that we're really doing is partnering with franchisors, right? Because if you think of a geolocation-based app, you want a lot of locations. If you have just a one shop in Tucson, that's great, and we're happy to have you as a partner. But if you're a franchise, you got locations all around the country. So you're really getting the most bang for your buck on the app if you partner with us with a franchise. But there's a lot of these franchises out there that people just don't know exist. And there's a lot of good organizations that are promoting them. And they're really wanting to hire veterans too, right? Because if the veteran population is 6% of the country, or maybe even under 6% of the country. But I think like 20% of franchisees are veterans. And they love first responders too, especially police officers. Because I mean, if you think of a franchise, they got a plan, they got a business model. All you have to do is execute on it. And veterans and first responders are great at doing that. So we're really trying to push a lot of these, as far as job, I don't want to call them job opportunities, I guess career or business opportunities really is what they are. And we're trying to do that through the franchise model.
So let's talk about how we go about accessing the app. So, we've got our phones. What do we do next?
Yep. If you got an iPhone, just go to your Apple store and download Defenders Gateway, and it'll just pop right up. And then we are also on Android too. I don't have an Android phone, so I don't know what the store is. Is it called the Android store, or what?
You can go to the Google Play Store.
Oh, Google Play
Store.
There you go. So you just go in there, download it. All our users are verified, and their family members are verified. So you have to submit certain documentation to us to make sure you're an authentic veteran or first responder. But once you get approved, you could go ahead and access the app and enjoy all the benefits of it.
Okay. And so obviously let's break that down. If you're a first responder, to become authenticated, is that a fair word to use in app world? So you become authenticated by submitting a picture of a documentation or your whatever
ID or whatever it may be.
And then so you're covered there. So it's that first responder has that account set up. There you go, John.
Now
So-
I'm an idiot when it comes to logging on. That's how easy it was. Before you guys even finished the conversation, I was able to log on, and I
There
am
you
not
go.
good at this technical stuff. That's how easy it is. So nobody can have an excuse not to do this.
Nobody can have an excuse because John can do it.
If I can do it,
We love you, John. We love you. It's so then a spouse. How do you authenticate as if you don't actively serve, if you're in that support?
Yeah. So the way that works is that the user, the veteran or first responder, would download it and sign up first, and then there's a way to send your spouse a link that you could access, and then they sign up through that way. So you're just sort of a companion, I guess, with your spouse's account.
Okay, well that's it. That's an important thing to know, so that you don't have everybody in your family, trying to create an account. So we've got first responder or active duty or veteran creating the account, and then you have the add-ons being your family members. Is there an age limit for the dependents, the kiddos?
No, there's not actually, and we do have a kids corner too, and it's what we've done is talk to military families out there and what their kids like to sort of do on their phone, like various apps, whatever those apps may be, music, things like that. So we're out there talking to veterans and first responder families to see, if you got a kid, here's what other people are using, and so
that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Sometimes we forget about the children as well. We talk about the spouse, but sometimes we forget about the younger kids that, dad or mom are gone for 13, 16, 18 months doing a tour overseas. Man, that's stressful on a child's mind.
100%.
Does it give them a chance to connect with other children, or is it just...
There is a communication tool on it. Yeah. So if you know another user on the app, you could communicate. There's sort of a text communication, I guess, chat box that you could use, I would call it. And that's a great way to sort of stay in touch with other members on the platform.
Okay. Now that's fantastic. So we got this covered, which we have at, every second of the day. It seems like sometimes I want to throw it out the window. So those times that I do throw my phone out the window, or I decide to put it under the bed, this is also web-based. So can you walk us through that as well? And frankly, I have, sorry, you have a cute kitty that just, that was adorable. We were planning that. It was like, look at me.
She's trying to jump up on my lap. I'm trying not to have her up.
No problems, because we love animals.
Yeah.
So the this particular veteran that I was helping out had eye issues. So he does nothing on his cell phone. Everything for him had to be web-based. And as we know, with apps, it's called an app for a reason, because not everything is web-based. Walk us through the web.
Yeah, it's sort of the same. The website's the defendersnetwork.com is our website. And it's sort of the same login procedures that as the sign up. So I think it's pretty easy. I think it's pretty self-explanatory once you get there. But yeah, I mean, we're sort of trying to fit, like you mentioned, not everybody else. My dad actually doesn't I tried to send my dad a video last night, and I kept getting a kickback on it because he doesn't have a smartphone. He's got some block phone still that he's trying to use. So he does everything. Yeah, he does everything online as well. So we're trying to fit as many needs as we can here to just support our veterans and first responders.
Well, I think it is important if you work or have been exposed to the adaptive communities working with veterans that have TBI, where their vision is affected, or looking at a screen causes a vertigo or some other issue, or they don't have sight because they hit an IED and that's it. Or and I have met veterans that can work mobile devices with prosthetics. Some cannot, but just depending on the technology that they have. So the fact that you have this web-based it's really important so that anybody can get access that you built the platform for.
Yeah. No, and it is. And one of the
I can see this stuff without my glasses.
There you go.
Yeah, one of the things we're trying to do here, we're still learning ourselves, right? And this isn't a static app that we just put out and we're going to let it sit. We're continuing to evolve. We're continuing to put out the better product. We got all kinds of ideas lined up next to continue to provide more support to the defenders of this country. So when you bring up this, these issues that those that, the adaptive learning and the web-based stuff, I'm glad you raised that because those are still issues that we're dealing with and we're trying to improve the user experience as best we can. So
that's fantastic. Hey guys, if you're just tuning in, we're talking to Shaun Broeker from the Defenders Gateway, and he just shared, especially those that are listening, if you want to visit the website, you can go to thedefendersnetwork.com, or you can go on to the App Store from your smartphone, whatever platform you have, iOS or Android, and download the app there. We got to take a quick break and we will be right back to continue the conversation. Stay tuned, everybody.
Look, when you need to respond to an aggressive situation to protect yourself, your family, or your property, understanding your firearm and legal position are critical. Officers know your skills are only as good as your commitment to training. So know what you're doing. So when you're in a vulnerable situation, we can count on your response. Whether you're a beginner or a licensed gun carrier, Carry in Texas offers basic firearms training, Texas permitless carry courses, license to carry, and basic 2A courses so you can understand the responsibilities, situational awareness, and learn the technical skill required when you carry your firearm. Go to carryintexas.com to find the right course for you. Join me, former United States Secret Service agent Samantha Horwitz, on the range for beginner basics, LTC prep, and range practice. Go to carryintexas.com today. That's carryintexas.com.
Hey, welcome back to a Badge of Honor podcast with John and Sam with Shaun Broeker. See, I got it right.
You got it right.
Shaun with Defenders Gateway. Shaun, and before we broke, but I'm really just your website is just chock full of so much information and so many things. But I just hit onto your partners page, and I take that with a lot of face value because nobody's just going to partner with anybody. And you have some dynamic partnerships, like with Firehouse Subs. They do a lot for our first responders. Tunnels to Towers Foundation, amazing organization that provides so much for our heroes, and Jimmy John's, and it's super quick.
Well, there you go. Yeah.
You have some
There's franchises.
Yes. Yeah, and it's and that's what you want to look for. Is you want to see other of these your partners who still provide, and that's where I look for the face value in something.
Yeah, 100%. Our partners are it. When we got a little bit of a unique model where usually if you're creating a product, you create it and you build a market for it and you put it out there. Here we have to increase our user base numbers, right? And we got to build that user base, and we also have to build that partner base. So we're sort of doing both these things at the same time and trying to bring them together. And the partners are it, right? Because if you really want to give the business or the defenders of this country the best product, you need the partners out there. So we're continuously out there beating the pavement to sign more people up, to be partners with us, get them uploaded on our app. We got hundreds, I would say like 100,000 different locations on our app at this point, all around the country. Got big numbers, and we're just continuing to partner with businesses, nonprofits, different government agencies, and the like. And there's my cat again.
Yeah. Very, very interested in the conversation. It is. I mean, you and another great thing is you have things broken down. So you have, hey, let's look at what franchises you have. You have the businesses in there. You have nonprofits. You even have podcasts, not to do a shameless plug, but here we are. You've got different videos that you can watch, and the most important thing on every page, how to get in touch with you guys. You have an 888 number, which is great as well. And then if like you need tech help or something's not working, you've got that info at where folks can email you. But it really is, I'm looking National Fallen Firefighters Foundation, First Responders Children Foundation. And then you've got spouse support, the spousal support that's coming on there soon. Talk a little bit about DG Coffee, because you're talking to two coffee junkies.
Yeah, that's a pet project of Carol herself. She loves coffee too, so it's just one of those things. We're out there promoting it. And I'm pretty sure on the coffee side of things, any sales we have of the DG Coffee go straight into the nonprofit. So that's not something we're making any money off of. It's just for good cause, something fun to do, something to get our name out there and help promote sort of the app itself. But yeah, all the funds raised are going to.
And you can get bagged coffee. It looks like whole bean ground. You can even get K cups and, right?
All good stuff. I like Quick Trip coffee myself. So I'm a pretty simple man when it comes to maybe a little Folger. So this is probably better than what I typically drink.
I am going to back up Carol here and say that your coffee is hands down far and above what you're drinking, Shaun.
I appreciate that.
Carol, I've got your back. I just want you to know, if you're listening or watching, DG Coffee
is better than Quick Trip. It's better than Folgers. Is that what we're saying?
Hands down. So, if you guys like John and I love coffee. John's got his cup right there. Again, you can see it on the app, or you can see it online. And every purchase does make a difference, because it goes back. I feel like first responders, veterans, a lot of us are getting into the private label coffee, and there's a reason. It's just there's consumers out there and the ability to give back.
Oh, yeah.
That's probably the number one reason I'll go for a coffee brand, is because I know you're giving back. So it's not only a good cup of coffee, it knows that my purchase, even if it's a couple more bucks than the regular store brand, I know that purchase is going to a veteran or a first responder or an organization that's backing them. And that's what means a lot. You want to, in my heart, it gives back a little bit, especially about the amount of coffee I drink and Sam drinks.
Yeah.
That's what sort of the whole foundation of
be driving a Rolls Royce,
have a private jet yourself, huh?
There you go. Hey, Shaun, so I noticed on some of the sections, like anything that is just launched, you're growing. The stuff that's coming soon, is there any like hard date that you're working for, or like you can say like everything will be on there as of X date?
No, nothing right now, right? We certainly have big plans moving forward, and we've sort of laid out our business plan to do that, and how to even a version 3 of our app. Version 2 just came out in November, but we're already sort of putting together the framework for version 3. But before we even get to version 3, we're going to just continue to expand our partnerships. I mean, we're out there, meeting with a lot of people. I'm an attorney in my full day. I work at a big law firm here in St. Louis. So my days that, I practice law, and at night I'm out there trying to recruit and businesses, and I do things like this to help promote the product. So we're going to continue to expand, and the tech's just going to keep getting better and better.
Tell me a little bit about the ambassador program.
What's that now?
The ambassador program?
Oh yeah, we're always looking for sponsor, or not necessarily sponsors, for people to go out there in their community and promote us. I mean, that's sort of what this is. just like any good organization, you need faces out in the crowd to help bring in new users, to help with your partnerships. So if you're a sort of what we call an ambassador out there, if you're a veteran or first responder or someone that just loves the cause and you want to give back and get involved with us, feel free to reach out and we could maybe arrange that. Like we're always happy.
Even something like this ambassador program, I'm looking because it says, volunteers.
Yep.
Sometimes that's what a first responder and a veteran need. You know what? Maybe you found your purpose. Maybe you're sitting on a couch and you're like, I need a purpose. I need a purpose. Well, maybe check out the ambassador program and maybe you'll find your purpose within the Defender Gateway. And now you're going to be a spokesman and really share the things that you're passionate about, share the things that you like. And if, who knows where it can go from there.
100%. And it's, absolutely. And it's not like you just have to go out in your community and promote this. You don't have to stand up in big groups. It could be as simple as posting on social media, on Facebook, on Instagram, making TikTok dance videos or what have you. So, there's a bunch of different ways to give back, and it doesn't, it's not sort of set in one area, I guess.
That's great. That's great.
Huge, yeah.
And, or maybe use your pet to help you.
She's doing pretty well today. Huh? She's not there. She's comfortable.
That is awesome. Hey, we got to take a quick break. When we come back, I want to talk a little bit about the geolocating, because this isn't just you guys start in Missouri, but we're looking to go nationwide, maybe even worldwide. We'll be right back with Shaun after this.
To the Health Engineer Show. I'm Cliff Buckley, the Health Engineer, right here on the Offbeat.
Hi, I'm Larry Cortana. This is
Hi, my name is Susan Hamilton, and you're watching Offbeat.
Hi, this is Doreen Milano. Welcome to Big Ideas Small Business, where we will talk to Terry Arjala.
Hey, welcome back to A Badge. I'm still perusing the website. There's so much information on there. It's great. Welcome back to A Badge of Honor podcast with John and Sam and Shaun Broeker with Defender Gateway. Sam, you were just talking about the geo mapping and locations. You want to? Jump right in on it?
Does that work differently with the app versus the online?
Oh, that's a good question. I
stumped you. I did a technical question.
That's a technical question.
The reason I ask is because John's over by Fort Worth. I'm thinking of like military, so I'm over on the other side towards East Texas. So and so when I sign up and log in, it's gonna geolocate me. However, whatever the parameters are, maybe 100 miles. I'm just putting a for instance of services that I'm looking for. Same thing with John. Mm-hmm. If I'm traveling and I find myself in need, whatever it is, let's say I have post-traumatic stress, I have a trigger, and I know that Defender's Gateway has a place where I can click on. I was just looking at it. A place where I can get some check-in with mental health,
like a crisis
hotline. The crisis hotline will always be there. But if I want this specific check-in because I've been there before, but I'm not in my location, will it like follow me so it'll know? Let's say I travel to Missouri.
Yep. No, it changes on your phone, and you could actually set the radius too, right? If you're in like a very densely populated area, you could set, I think it's down to 5 miles, and it could maybe up to 250 miles or something like that. So you could expand the area, contract it depending on where you're at.
So it goes by the location of your phone.
Yeah. Yes. That's right. Yep. And one thing we're looking at going into the future is even more specific, right? So if you're a veteran or first responder and you walk into a place that offers a military discount, right? We want to use geolocation fencing to send you a little notification, say, hey, don't forget Bass Pro has a 10% military discount, right? And then if Bass Pro is our partner, and then we can walk up to the counter, there's a little unique QR code, and you can just scan that and you get your military discount itself. Because one of the problems I have is I don't carry a veteran ID. I've been out for 15 years now, so I don't carry it around. But I see all the places with the discounts that I would love to take advantage of. Well, with the app, we all have verified users, and it creates a unique military ID for you that you could use at the checkout of those stores. So
you can just scan your app instead of carrying your military
or
ID.
whatever the QR code.
Yep.
Yeah.
The QR code pop up in the app, and you could use it at the store. So we're continuing
Wow.
to get better on the technology side as well.
Wow, that's really that's cool. That's a great feature, and you'd get a push notification that alerts you first. That's fantastic.
Yep. Yeah. One thing I wanted to chat with you guys about, I know you do a lot in the mental health area for first responders. What are you seeing as the sort of the biggest needs on the mental health side that are really benefiting folks out there?
Vetted resources.
Okay.
I mean, that's the key, and John, definitely chime in, here that, if you're looking to cover all 50 states, and then once that's done, go beyond, it's a matter of either getting a referral from somebody that's worked with this person or group of counselors, because it can't just be for first responders and veterans. It can't just be that counselors hanging out a shingle.
Yeah.
That tends not to work.
And what Jeff brought up the other day, because I asked him almost that same question in our workshop that we just recently had, because I've been out of the law enforcement for a long time. So I was wondering what most first responders are looking at. And it's this fit for duty thing. So a lot goes into trust. And when Sam brings in vetted resources, trust is a big thing with our first responders, because they're so afraid that the confidentiality is going to be broken and they are going to be put on desk duty, or they're going to lose their job, or whatever it is. So I think that is the biggest thing. And Sam, you keyed right in on it, is vetted resources that are trustworthy.
Yeah.
No, and that makes 100% to me, because one thing that we're looking at now is how can we sort of help mental health professionals reach our users, right? And how, if you're under the health and wellness side, can we partner with those therapists out there, the good ones, of course, the vetted resources, to really provide those to the veterans and the first responders. So I appreciate you bringing up the confidentiality, because that makes perfect sense. I mean, a lot of people don't go to the VA, and try to collect on their disability or whatever it may be, because they have a fear that their boss or their company is going to find out that they have some unfortunate mental health issue. And
well, that's like the EAP programs, the employee assistance programs, as great as they may be somewhere, right? They may be the best EAP in the world, but guess what? No one's going to use them because they don't trust them. They've gotten that stigma. They don't trust them, and they walk away from it. And that's a big issue with our first responders, is just the available resources.
Okay.
Yeah.
We've had, I have the banner up again for those of you that are listening in app. It's thedefendersnetwork.com. You can visit them, or again on your smartphone, whether you're running Apple or Android, go to the iTunes Store or Google Play, and you can download the app. Defenders Gateway is what the app is called. And then you go ahead and go through a little registration, set up your password, all the login. You'll do a verification process, and you'll be in. Shaun, where can we follow you out in social media?
Well, in social media, LinkedIn is the best thing for me. I wish I was more active on Twitter and some of those other platforms, but I'm not. So LinkedIn is where you could really find me. And I do try to post some stuff on there quite frequently. I don't know. I posted today, I actually have a lawsuit. I took on to represent a veteran pro bono here in St. Louis last year. He got kicked out of his apartment. So it was a sort of a simple rent and possession case. I was like, I'll take this on. I'll help him out. No big deal on a pro bono basis. But when I started looking into it, I determined that this debt collector was really doing some, what I'll say, shady things. So we countersued them. And there's a local news organization here in town is doing a big investigative report on it. And they're, it's impacted thousands of people, and they're going to air it this Thursday here in town.
Wow.
So that's just,
good for you.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I try to wear many hats. One is a partner spokesman for Defenders Gateway and the Defenders Network, and then I'm an attorney, and I really try to do a lot in the veterans community.
And
You know, what-
Defenders Gateway, we can follow it on, I think you guys have Instagram,
Yep.
also LinkedIn.
Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook. We're all on
Facebook.
all the major social media platforms for the company. Yep.
Sean, the one thing I wanted to ask you, because Sam brought it up about worldwide, right? Are you available? Is this available in the UK, say?
Not at this time. We're just focused. I've actually answered that question before. Not at this time. We're sort of focused on the U.S. And once we build our base here, then we'll start maybe thinking about expanding overseas. It just gets a little bit more tricky, I think, when you're going overseas. There may be some security issues with their networks, or so.
Gotcha.
But
Yeah,
certainly a consideration.
Absolutely, we understand. Well, thank you so much, Shaun, for coming on the podcast tonight. Again, go to the defendersnetwork.com, read all about it, check out their website, or just go to the app like John and I did. And John did it. I think John, you did it faster than I did. So there you go.
I did.
Everybody can
You
use
guys
it.
didn't finish the conversation. I had it all done. Boom.
There you go. Boom.
Yeah.
I can't get my email that quick.
Yeah, I would say please download. If you're a veteran or first responders, jump on. And if you're a business out there or a nonprofit and you would like us to help promote your products or your services, please contact us as well, because we're trying to do it all here. So we need all the help we can get from all different.
Well, that's fantastic. We will definitely be in touch, and you can find Defenders Gateway logo that will take you to the website, and then you can download the app on our website. So thank you for being a partner and letting us help get the word out. So we're
Thanks,
honored
bro.
to be a part of the network.
All right. Thanks for having me on, guys.
You bet. We'll be in touch, Shaun. Thanks so much.
Yeah. Bye.
Okay, Sean.
I love this, the app and the geolocation thing. And when it's all built out, it will be fantastic, because this is kind of like where everything is or is going, definitely these next couple of years. Hey, if you guys have tuned in, want to thank everybody who tunes in week over week, whether you're watching us on YouTube, on LinkedIn Live. The newest is Instagram, the Gram Live. I think this is our third maybe broadcast to Instagram Live. So thank you, Gram World, for watching us there. Hey, just continue to like and subscribe. You can find us at A Badge of Honor and A Badge of Honor podcast on social media. On YouTube, they've got that little bell there. You can bing. So you get notified whenever we go live. So appreciate that. Appreciate your support. Hey, you guys see this banner right here above my head? Every show, every podcast episode that we do, Carry the Load. They are giving back to our veteran, active duty, and first responder community as well. We're so blessed to have been chosen for another year to be a nonprofit partner, and look forward to kicking off the fundraising season in the next few days. So be on the lookout, specifically on from our Facebook page, but I'll be putting it out everywhere, how you can support us by supporting Carry the Load. And there's lots of different ways. What's coming up, John? We've got next month, February, Backing the Blue Denton. Thank you, Back in the Blue. They've been doing great on social media, talking about all the partners that will be up there in Denton with them on the 23rd of February. And then we've got 2 programs going on in March. The easiest way to see what we're doing is visit abadgeofhonor.org, click on the calendar, and you can see everything. And that's the easiest way. There's so much out there that can distract us. Let's just remember that there's so many organizations like Defenders Gateway that are specifically have been created for us.
Right.
Let's support them. Let's show them our support, love and support back. So to all of the first responders out there, we continue to pray for you every single day. Thank you for what you do in our communities. to keep us safe. To all of our active duty personnel out there, thank you for what you're doing currently, because I don't know, John, it seems like we're going to get involved in something else, and I don't want to say it because I don't want this video to come down, but there's shit going on, people. We got to pay attention. So thank you to our active duty personnel, and peace be with the souls that we just lost.
Yes.
In the Middle East. And, to all the veterans, just like Shaun, you fought the good fight. We think about you every day as well. Thank you for what you did for this country, for us, that allows us to do a show like this every week. John, take us home.
Before Shaun left, and I meant to ask him, we went to Chicago. We did a badge of honor thing. So if Defenders Gateway, man, they should bring us down to St. Louis. We can do a workshop and really show them what it's all about, or Ohio, wherever they're in Missouri.
Missouri.
Missouri,
Yeah.
down, up, down. This
Down would be Mexico, my friend.
Yeah. We would be going there too. But, we got to Laughter Saves Lives, because laughter does help the mental stress. Laughter Saves Lives is coming to the DFW area with some great comics. And we're going to have a workshop. We're going to have a fundraiser for Badge of Honor. We will keep you abreast on the location. That's going to be April 5th. We'll let you know on how you can attend and be a part of it. Maybe even be a sponsor of it for our first responders. But, I just want to thank everybody for, their prayers, their thoughts and prayers from, Charlie. He made so far, knock on wood, 100% recovery. Thank you for all our veterans and our first responders out there. And remember, it's never checkmate. Never count yourself out. There's always a resource out there. Get the Defender Gateway, and you will find something that's right for you. That's it, Sam. Peace.
See you next week, everybody.
A Badge of Honor podcast is produced for the OBBM Network podcast and protected under copyright law. For content permissions, please submit your request to abadgeofhonor.com on the content page. For OBBM Network programming information, please call 214-714-0495 today.